Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Sanctuary. Week 16 is here. It is almost Christmas, and have I got a present for you? We're going to be walking through the Fantasy Game Day slate. Not one, but two slates this week. We've got the Christmas Eve and then the Christmas Day slate of games. I'm going to be talking about both. I'm going to talk you through 10 great picks on the Christmas Eve slate and then a couple of the best values on the Christmas Day slate. If you haven't yet tried out Fantasy Game Day, you are 100% missing out. It is a phenomenal daily fantasy app. You can play it only in the UK. There is one price, one entry point, and you get to play against everybody else that is on that one slate and the top 20% take-home cash prizes. If you haven't tried it out, you can use our code TFS23 for a free second entry. You got to deposit, enter your first lineup, and you'll automatically be credited with that second lineup for free. The best thing about Game Day, the captain pick. So let's start with there. It feels like Amon-Ra Brown is as safe as a captain pick every single week. You can just plug him in. Yes, he's had a couple of down weeks, but he has got a very juicy matchup this week. Minnesota Detroit has got a 47 over under, and you do feel like Amon-Ra Brown could be due for a breakout game. He's averaging almost 30% target share, almost 20 points per game. At 5,800, if you don't want to spend up with one of those expensive Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb options, Amon-Ra Brown feels like the logical choice there. And then the other captain pick, Rachaad White, just absolutely balling at the moment. 7 out of the last 9 weeks, he's gone top 12 against the Jacksonville team that we know sets out to try and stop the run. But the good thing about Rachaad White, he gets such good receiving game usage that even when a team's trying to just shut down the run and not worry about that, he can still eat. So I'd prefer to go St. Brown here if you're not going for one of the elite options in Tyreek Hill or CeeDee Lamb. But Rachaad White, if you want to be a little bit different, could be interesting. That's a decent option to go. At the quarterback positions, if you're looking to go cheap, Tyler Heinicke is the guy. He is at home. He's got a juicy matchup against Indianapolis, 44.5 over under. We know that this is likely to be a decent amount of points. And look, it may not sound great, but Taylor Heinicke's played 3 times this year, and he's been a top 24 quarterback in each of those. He's unlikely to burn you. And at 4,200, that feels like good value if you want to save there and just load the rest of your lineup with studs. If you want to spend, though, Justin Fields is the guy. He has got a fantastic matchup against Arizona. It feels like at the moment it's good week, bad week, good week, bad week for Justin Fields. Let's hope that this is a good week. Almost 10 rush attempts per game. If he balls out at 6,400, he could absolutely be a slate breaker this week. And some decent stacking options, whether you want to go DJ Moore or potentially go Cole Kmet at the tight end position. I feel like I'm building a lot of my lineups around Justin Fields this week. The running back is these two guys are just plug and play in every lineup. They've got great ceilings. They've got great floors. And at 3,600 for each of them, it's fantastic prices. So I talked about the Detroit-Minnesota matchup with Amon-Ra Brown, Ty Chandler. We know that he's going to be the workhorse again this week. Alexander Mattison's looking like he's not going to play, but Ty Chandler is explosive. Yes, Detroit is decent against the run. I think they're 32nd in points allowed to the running back position, but Ty Chandler is so explosive. He's only going to need 1 or 2 carries potentially in space where he could return on his investment. At 3,600, 11 points. That's 3 times his value. If he can give you 15, that's 4 times, and he's an absolute must start. So 24.7 points last week. I think that Ty Chandler is going in every single one of my lineups. And then Devin Singletary, this is his backfield. We know it is. He's kind of floor is 10 points a game, but he's absolutely got an opportunity where he could have that boom week. Kansas City, a decent defense, but I think this is potentially going to be higher than the 37.5 over under would suggest. And so Devin Singletary, we know that if he's going to get the lot of the work at that price, it just feels too sensible to not pick these guys when, you can spend 7,000-8,000 on the more expensive running backs and get similar production. So you spend down there, it allows you to get expensive elsewhere. If you're looking to spend down at wide receiver, 2 great values this week. Chris Godwin at 3,400. We saw he blew up last week. That squeaky wheel game, his missus was moaning he wasn't getting the usage, 25.5 points. It's a good over-under at 43, as I talked about with Rachaad White. And If you want to attack this matchup, potentially you could look at Baker Mayfield with Rachaad White, maybe Chris Godwin, and then sneak in whether it be Calvin Ridley or Evan Ingram as a bring back. And then over at the other wide receiver position, Amari Cooper feels criminally underpriced at £3,800. He's had 22 targets in his last 2 weeks with Joe Flacco under center. We know that Joe Flacco may not be the best quarterback in the league. He's going to turn the ball over. He's going to take some risks, but he's going to be up there in terms of pass attempts per game, which gives Amari Cooper a really interesting floor, but also ceiling. So I think at 3,800, that's a really good price for Amari Cooper, and one that you can definitely allow you to put some of those elite high-priced options into your lineup. At the tight end position, I feel like Tucker Kraft has replaced Trey McBride as my week in, week out plug-in here. 2,200. It's ridiculous that he's still priced down this low. He's averaging over 10 points per game since Luke Musgrave went on IR. Yes, it's not the sexiest matchup against Carolina, 36 over under, but 2,200, again, 9 points, and he's 4 times his price. He catches a touchdown, he returns on his price. I think what Tucker Kraft in your lineup allows you to do at the rest of the positions, it makes so much more sense. And then finally, I'm coming back to that Detroit-Minnesota matchup, £4,400 for TJ Hockenson. If you want to get expensive, you can get elite production at the tight end position without breaking the bank. You know, it's not a huge amount to pay, 4,400. And we know that the volume's there. Yes, Mullins is under center, but 24.7% target share on the season. You know that you can almost take 6, 7, 8 targets to the bank. As I mentioned, though, earlier, this is a 2-week slate for Fantasy Game Day. You don't just get the main slate on the Christmas Eve. There's also got a juicy Christmas Day lineup. It's condensed. There's only 3 games. There's only 6 teams. So it makes it easier because there's not so many options, but you need to be smart with what you're doing. So I want to highlight 3 potential picks. At the captain pick, yes, you can go Christian McCaffrey. You can go for that Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers matchup. But at £5,800, AJ Brown is good value and potentially a sneaky potential captain pick. I'm finding that he's a must-start at wide receiver. And if you want to go cheap at captain, he's an option there. Isaiah Likely, he is easily the best slate value on the Christmas Day slate, £3,200. The volume he's been getting and the production he's been putting up over the last few weeks, he's absolutely a must-start in every single one of your lineups. And then the key enabler, Justice Hill, 2,200. I talk about this every week. If you can find 1 or 2 enablers that are priced super low that are still going to give you solid production, it allows you to fill the rest of your lineup with studs. If you can get Justice Hill, maybe 1 other enabler into your lineup on Christmas Day, you can then fill it out with Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Lamar, Purdy, whatever you want to do to get expensive at other positions. That enabler is massive. Best of luck this week. It is Christmas. If you are playing, use that code TFS23 to get that second free entry. I wish you all the very best of luck. And if you are successful, come and let me know, whether it be on Twitter, drop a comment in below, and let me know how you got on this week on Fantasy Game Day.